I'm not a Pilates girl. I'm proud to say that I've never drank matcha. Crocs will forever and always be ugly to me. And I hate Drake's music. So in order to go after the life that you want, you have to vehemently fight against the life that was preconceived for you at all points in time. That means being curious about the things that you're not experienced in and always asking questions. Like, I know people hate me for the amount of questions that I ask, and they probably think I'm the feds or something, but I was thankful to have elders in my life growing up that encouraged me to ask questions. Like, my grandfather even gifted me this beautiful poem when I was little called The Curious Child. So, like, I've never been too big in my britches to humble myself and to ask questions. And to be honest, I really can't stand people that act like they know everything. Like, it's just very distasteful. And I think that that's what also makes me a good educator, because I'm not just asking questions out of life. Like, I'm also asking my children, how do they see things from their point of view? And it's probably why I love teaching so much, because I know that a child is going to give me their honest answer. Even with my 3 degrees, like, I'm always going to make time to sit with the children and to sit with the elders, because that's where I gain my perspective, not from whatever is going on in this Black Mirror. So if you're new here, karibu, a big Swahili welcome to you. My name is Yahaira, and this channel is about building a regenerative way of living. I share my journey as an educator, filmmaker, birth worker, and future homesteader, building what I call kin and soil. So part of a regenerative way of living is bucking all manners of what was prescribed of you, or to you, and essentially taking those prescriptions, throwing them away, and making your own medicine. But in order to do this well, you have to experiment. You have to be willing to get it wrong and start over and over again. Like, it will never irk me more than hearing people calling all of that cringe, like, is life cringe for some of y'all, But I get it. I see it clear as day. Many people can't move to the beat of their own drum because they've had negative school experiences and a community that didn't hold them growing up. Like, I understand that. I understand that. I really do. But, just because you weren't able to learn the scientific method in school, or just because you never had to sit in your English class while your teacher was putting you through the gauntlet of a debate, that doesn't mean that the learning process is inherently bad. It may just mean that you were not a good student for the public school system, or maybe you had learning disabilities. But that doesn't mean someone like myself, who moves around the world asking questions or working through the cringiness of experimentation, is the feds or a lame. Like, what is lame to me is people that think that being dumb is cool. Or lame to me is acting like you know everything, To move to the beat of your own drum, you have to first learn what the status quo is and take the time to dismantle that and ask questions. Even if somebody gives you a shitty answer to a question that you have, that's still data that you can use. Even if someone poo-poos you away from asking questions, that's still data that you can use. I did my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I laugh when people say that when you get a bachelor's in psychology, it's because you don't know what you want to do, which kind of was partially true for me. Like, I was the first person in my family to attend university, so there was a huge learning curve. And, I wanted to learn what was, first of all, wrong with my family and what was wrong with society. I thought that even if I couldn't fix the crazy people, at least after the degree, I can see them coming. So I'm glad that I spent that experience, of those 4 years studying the mind and human development, because it really answered a lot of questions for me. So I say all that to say, I get it. I understand why you may feel like there are so many obstacles in front of you in order to reach the life that you want. But I can tell you that you're not going to get to the life that you want by downplaying the sacrifices of others, that it took for the sacrifices that it took for folks to go through a university program and apply themselves, or to ridicule people who ask questions in life and don't walk around like they know everything. that hurt you're going to have to handle. So that's one thing. But also on the other hand, like, I'm also grateful for YouTube and, you know, for the global masses having access to a computer in their pocket, you know, because this technology helps people to bypass these same institutions that I spoke about earlier that do have a lot of classism embedded within them. Like, YouTube also helps folks to learn outside of going to university themselves to some capacity, you know? So both things are true for me. But to be honest, let's be honest, yes, YouTube has an endless sea of tutorials and people talking about their expertise. And to me, what is the best and quickest way to learn something, in my opinion, is not even YouTube. It's to travel, to leave the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, because there may come a time, I'm not speaking it into existence, but there may come a time where the things that you see on this black mirror are all computer generated and have no human touch points. You know, if that day ever comes, the only way that you will know the truth is going to see it for yourself. You know, even now, sometimes I can see something on the news or socials that something happened and I think to myself, did it really happen? I wasn't there, so I will never know. The only way I'll know is if my inner voice tells me yay or nay. And to me, that's the ultimate way of moving to the beat of your own drum, like what your intuition tells you. And that's really what this video is about. First, in order to get there, first, you need to slay your demons within, or slay the demons within and around you, to make sure that they're not running interference between you and your inner voice. And then once you do that, which maybe you're getting quiet through the whole process, but that's step one. Step two is getting very quiet. And that's what I mentioned, like in my previous video, when I was talking about this time where all of these things were happening in the world and I was hiding in my house. You know, that time allowed me to get quiet. I had already had my Saturn return. So, or was I going through? I think I was going through my Saturn return. Yeah, I was going through my Saturn return, slaying the dark nights of the soul, slaying the monitoring spirits and all of that around me. And then I got quiet. I got real quiet so that I could hear my voice and really spend intimate time with her and know what she sounds like. So to me, that is the pinnacle of moving to the beat of your own drum, because really, like I said, YouTube is a good thing right now, but we don't know what the future is going to look like. And I'm praying that it looks very humane, but there are things moving around that want otherwise. So we have to start thinking in a different way, that let's say these podcasts are gone, let's say YouTube is gone, let's say these black mirrors are gone, or maybe they're still there, but you can't tell what's, you know, truth, fact versus fiction. If that point in time ever comes, the only thing that you have is yourself. The only thing that you've ever had is yourself. So I would say get on the good foot while you can and start moving to the beat of your own drum. I gave you 2 or 3 steps. Once you get all those things done, I know this is a very short video. Once you get all those things done, I think that you're Gucci. So that's enough of my soliloquy for today. Short and sweet. If any of this resonated with you, please put a comment down below and consider subscribing. I don't know which video I have next, but I'll be talking about more stuff like this. So sending love to all benevolent beings out there. Go and touch some grass with your people. AMANI na UPENDO.